Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about a new album. Well, actually, an album from 1995, but a new album on this channel. Um, it's by British musicians Brian Eno and Jah Wobble. And the way this album came about, it was a project that Brian Eno took on by it was a film score for Derek Jarman's Glitterbug. Uh, it's a biographical film by Derek Jarman, and all was going well until Derek Jarman unfortunately passed away before the project, before the movie and the music was completed. Um, well, I actually think that Brian Eno finished the music, just that unfortunately the director died prior to having the film being released. So Brian Eno, uh, he had this music that he obviously used for the movie, but like he said himself, without the movie, the music is kind of lost in context. So he was thinking about what he should do with this music. He wanted to release it as just music itself, but felt that without the connection of the film itself connected to the music that he created, it just didn't make sense. So what he decided to do is send his masters to Jah Wobble, who is a bassist. He's a really good bassist, from British bassist that used to started off in punk music. And obviously, after the Sex Pistols broke up, let's see, John Wardle is actually Jah Wobble. That's John Wardle is Jah Wobble's real name. And so he got together with his friends, and he was invited to release some music as another project after the Sex Pistols broke up. And eventually he went solo because he even though he started in the punk scene, he wanted to focus on different types of music, more experimental in essence. So let's get back to Brian Eno. Brian Eno sent his masters of these songs to Jah Wobble, and Jah, with instructions to Jah to listen to the music, you can add to the music or play with the music, or if you deem to just not touch the music at all, and just do what you can with the music and send me back what you worked on. So that's exactly what Jah did. Some of the tracks on the album he didn't touch at all. He just let it be just as Brian Eno sent it to him. On other tracks, he played along with the music that Brian Eno made, and then on other tracks, he created ultimately music upon the on top of the music, layering it together to create a brand new track altogether. So what we have, this album was released in 1995, and it has 10 tracks on CD. And if you have Apple Music, there's two bonus tracks. One that is Stravinsky, which is written just by Brian Eno without Jah's contribution. And then song number 12 is Lockdown by Jah Wobble without Brian Eno's contribution. So, which they're both good because you can kind of listen to both of them and kind of hear what their contributions were essentially on the original tracks. So the album itself, right here, is called Spinner, and it has 10 tracks on it. There's Where We Lived, and then next is Like Organza, then Steam, Garden Recalled, Marine Radio, Unusual Balance, Space Diary 1, Spinner, Transmitter and Trumpet, and then Left Where It Fell. Those are the 10 tracks that originally were released in 1995. So the actual album was released in the United Kingdom under the label All Saints. In the United States, the record was released under the label Gyroscope. And if you see here, these are the two labels, All Saints and Gyroscope. And this is a CD format. It comes in a white CD. It's really beautiful. And the music itself, the music is it's ambient, of course, because of Brian Eno. And then there's, I would say it's kind of a jazz fusion. But like Brian Eno said, there's a quote that he said that is kind of interesting. It says here, finished product is a fusion of ambient, instrumental, rock, and dub. Eno referred to the last track as an example of what he called unwelcome jazz. Quote, because for the last 3 or 4 years, really, I've been writing these pieces of music which sound like some peculiar take on jazz. They don't really sound like jazz. They obviously have some kind of influence from jazz, but most of the people I played them don't really like them, so I call it unwelcome jazz. And apparently he laughed after he said that, Brian Eno. So, and I can understand where if you're a jazz enthusiast, then this is not exactly the kind of jazz that you would listen to, like for instance Miles Davis or Duke Ellington, right? This is more experimental jazz, I would say, and it's very beautiful. I really love the parts where Jah has added his bass playing to Brian Eno's ambient landscapes. My favorite songs on the album are Where We Lived, which is a song which was not touched. It's just Brian Eno. And then Like Organza, the second song, is a combination of Jah's bass playing and then Brian Eno's ambient landscape music. Steam is where it actually starts getting very, for lack of a better term, it starts to actually, the music starts to move, and it really gets you going. It's only 3 minutes long, but it's so beautiful. Garden Recalled is another Brian Eno track that Jah did not touch at all. He just left it as is. Marine Radio is a very like instrumental, experimental track where you can hear Jah playing with his guitar strums, and it sounds marine radio. So it's somewhere in the ocean. It kind of sounds like a submarine underwater, and they're going underwater like this really slowly, and the quick strum of the the bass guitar is very interesting. The unusual balance is named that because the balance of the song is just off kilter, right? Kind of like Alan Wilder's Depeche Mode, get the balance right. But in that song, the balance is spot on. With unusual balance, it is off kilter, and it kind of makes you kind of, it's an uneasy track. It makes you feel kind of like, where is this track going? It doesn't have a head or tail to it. But if you are patient and hold out till the end, unusual balance actually does come to a sort of pseudo balance, which you will appreciate if you like sort of light house music. I'll put house in quotations because obviously this is more of an ambient experimental album, and so that's unusual balance. Space Diary 1 is another track which is not touched by Jah at all. It's just left alone. And then song number 8 is called Spinner, which is the actual name of the album. And it's only 2 minutes and 54 seconds long, but it is very, very well done. I really like the drumming on Spinner. The percussion playing on Spinner is beautiful. It's such a compact song, and so much put into it, so much thought and so much emotion that I personally appreciate a lot. Song number 9, Transmitter and Trumpet, is another kind of a percussive track with a trumpet, sort of. It is a longer track than Spinner, so it starts right after Spinner, and it's 8 minutes and 41 seconds. So if you like Spinner, then Transmitter and Trumpet is kind of like an extension of Spinner, but it expands the horizons of what Spinner, where Spinner started, but where Spinner could have gone to if it was a longer track. And then last but not least, song number 10, Left Where It Fell, which in my thoughts and my feelings is essentially sort of East Indian influenced music. At least that's what I feel when I listen to the track. Kind of like Talvin Singh, East Indian influenced instruments within Left Where It Fell. And honestly, that's the last track off the album, and it is probably one of the strongest songs on the album. Apart from Spinner, And the ones that really anchor the album are Where We Lived, Like Organza, Steam. That triad of songs going from one to two to three play beautiful. They seamlessly play well together. Then there's Garden Recalled, which is sort of like a backtrack because it's a more ambient track and makes you kind of think, wow, what did I just listen to? These awesome first three songs, Where We Lived, Like Organza, and Steam. And then Garden Recalled is kind of more of a thought provoking song of sorts. Marine Radio, of course, is very experimental. It's not one of my favorite songs off the album, but I'll give it that it's very experimental and very interesting to listen to because I don't think hear you would hear this Marine Radio anywhere else. It's so original, Marine Radio, that you'll definitely not hear it from somebody else. It's so much originality is coming from Marine Radio. Unusual Balance is another one that at first I did not like it when I bought the album back in the late 90s, but I've learned to like it. It kind of grew on me because excuse me, because I actually gave it a chance. I kind of, okay, let me listen to the song and see where it goes. And little by little, the song grew on me, and I enjoy it now. So after that, Space Diary one is kind of not here, not there. It's just a song in there, 1 minute and 51 seconds long. Excuse me. So, Spinner is way up there. It's one of the best songs off the album. Transmitter and Trumpet, I really like it too. Once again, Spinner, it goes from Spinner to Transmitter and Trumpet, and then Left Where It Fell. Once again, there's three songs that go into each other very well, especially with excuse me, starting with Spinner. It transitions straight into Transmitter and Trumpet, which is very beautiful, I think. And then, last but not least, after Transmitter and Trumpet ends, there's Left Where It Fell, which has that kind of East Indian influenced musical approach, and which is very beautiful in my opinion. So that is it, really. Then, of course, on Apple Music, if you have Apple Music, there are two bonus tracks, Stravinsky by Brian Eno, and then Lockdown, which is Jah Wobble. And both of those bonus tracks, one written just by Brian Eno, and Lockdown, which is written just by Jah Wobble. So by listening to those two bonus tracks, you can kind of, after hearing them, go back to the original album and kind of hear the contributions where Brian Eno and where Jah have contributed on the 10 tracks. So that's about it. This album really is good. It's one of those albums where Eno likes to work on his own music, and then he sends that music to someone that he likes, some musician that he appreciates, and then he asks them to work on the music. Sometimes they work together cohesively, and sometimes, in this case, like on Spinner, he had this music that was kind of left to the side because of unfortunate death of Derek Jarman. On it was a film score, and he wanted to release it, of course. So he sent it to Jah to add additional music upon the music that he already had written. So if you go through the discography of Brian Eno, he usually works together in tandem with other artists. For instance, he worked with Talking Heads, Main Man, and then he's worked with Velvet Underground's classically trained musician, which is on 1990 Wrong Way Up. What his name is, what's his name? It's not Wrong Way Up. Let's see. Well, I'm not going to go into that bit because that's totally a different album and a good one too. But today we're going to be wanted to just let you know about this album from 1995. It's an amazing album. It's mostly instrumental. There is kind of singing, not not any words of sorts, but just like vocal a cappella music by a lady. Some of the personnel on the album: Brian Eno plays the synthesizer and does treatments. Jah Wobble plays on bass, drums, keyboards, and atmospheres. Mark Ferda works on atmospheres, keyboards, percussion. Justin Adams, guitar. Richard Bailey on drums. Jackie Leibazite on drums. And then Susan Diham on vocals. Brian Eno obviously worked on the initial soundtrack recording and production, and then Jah Wobble and Mark Ferda additional recording and mixing, final production. Mark Ferda mixing, assistant recording and production, and then Brian Eno and David Copenhall worked on the cover art, the wrench, which is called Spinner because there's this spinner in the middle of this wrench, and it adjusts the width of the wrench. You know, when you spin it right here. Anyways, the ranking of this album, I would give it probably 8.5 out of 10, because it's a very good album. I would definitely have you listen to it. You can either listen to it wherever you listen to music. There, I'm not going to go through the list of different versions and different. You can either listen it on CD or find it on Amazon or the like. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope to see you in future reviews, which I will be reviewing other albums now, possibly some Jah Wobble albums, which I've come across and been listening to. They're very good. Also, I haven't forgotten about Luke Vibert. I want to review one of his albums, and then some other albums that I've come across in the last weeks. And so anyways, I'm gonna let you go, and I'll see you in the next review. Please comment, give me a like, and subscribe to my channel for more reviews. Have a good one. Bye bye.